Hey guys, this is the video about how to tell the difference between how to connect with your angels and spirit guides and how to know who you're connecting with. And it really comes down to intention. When I set out on my spiritual path years ago, and I had, made prayers to become more psychic, but also to develop a relationship with my angels, I specifically said I want to hear, see, feel, and know my angels. I said that for many years before I heard them. I saw them, I felt them, but hearing them was really the last step for me. And so I think that's the crucial difference. There's some people who really focus on mediumship, and that seems to be their primary goal. You can do both or either. The way that you could really tell, there is a difference in the speech. If you do automatic writing, you can also tell the difference. When you do automatic writing, if it sounds a little formal or they have a tendency to kind of go on and it takes a little bit to get to the point, that's an angel. They're very loving and they call everybody child and divine one and loved one and blessed one. If it's a spirit guide, the person will talk like a person and they will sound like a deceased loved one. Best example I can think of is that my father, when he comes through, it literally sounds like he's talking to me. It's the way he would talk, it's in his language, his words. I can actually hear his voice. And that's really how you can tell. The other thing, too, that some people do, when you're meditating, I can show this, when you're meditating, if the person sitting in front of you, if I remember this correctly, the person's on the left, it's from the mother's side of the family, that their relative. If it's on the right, it's from the father's side. I also have noticed it, and I have to be honest, I have noticed a guardian angel will usually sit at the same level as the person, like right around here. An archangel tends to be slightly, they tend to be bigger. I feel that they're bigger. That doesn't mean, that's not to say that guardian angels do not have the same strength, because they do. Angels are part of the divine energy and you can't limit them. It's just interesting that they do tend to kind of sit right at your level, because I almost feel like they're sort of like your bodyguard and would never let you out of their sight. Whereas the archangels are managing so much, they have to manage you in correlation to other situations, and so I feel like they sit a little bit above and back. But both of them have a super close eye on you. And that's really, and then with the differences between the angels, you will develop, as you develop your meditation and as you develop a relationship with each of the angels, you can ask them who is what, and each one will sound different to you, each one will feel different to you. Doreen's talked a little bit about this. The two things that really kind of, well, there's three actually that I really have to say have struck me. Archangel Michael sounds incredibly strong, right to the point. Uriel sounds a little more wise. Whenever it's wise and slow and paced, it feels more like Uriel. Whenever it has to do with this happy, upbeat energy that can't be beat type of thing, it's usually Archangel Raphael. And I gotta keep this mic to me. But that's really it. But you can usually ask, and they'll usually tell you. There's some overlap, so it's a little hard to say. And I hope that's helpful. And sometimes in meditation, you can go in and out. In other words, you can have them first, the angels first, and then a spirit guide could come in, give you some information, leave, and then you could have back to the angel communication. That happens often in sessions, and then it stops and ends. In my therapy sessions, that does happen. I usually get more angel information, but I have had information from the client's deceased come through because they have to give specific information, or they're just trying to support something really strongly, and that's been really helpful for the client. And so that was it. So hopefully that answers any questions, and if you have any more, please email them and I certainly will address them.